Chair, fellow Toastmasters and soon-to-be Toastmasters, I've not come here to tell you that you're arrogant. That's the last thing I want to do. But I've come here to talk to you about the different forms of arrogance that we have in us, and in a way, how we can work and tone them out. Now, I'm sure the first and most important thing you want to do is identify if you are arrogant or not. Now, my speech today is to tell us what are the different levels of arrogance. And in a way, we all put up with arrogance. I put up, and I'm sure you do. Now let me put up a scenario for you. While in your office, you have a manager who's really arrogant. When he walks in, he demands everything every few minutes. You know that this man doesn't need this information. Are you going to put up with that, manager? Yes, because I need the money. But imagine this was just a co-worker who was demanding things from you, a very demanding co-worker. What will you do? You'll probably let him know. You'll probably be equally matching his arrogance and let him know that I'm not going to put up with this. Your spouse, on the other hand, oh, let me not get over there. The moment she even attempts, or he attempts to stand their ground, we are quick to pounce on him or her. Why is it that we put up a certain amount of arrogance in our workplace, and at the same time we're not as flexible on a personal front? For this, I did a lot of research, and I realized that there is something called subliminal arrogance and non-subliminal. Now, what do you mean by subliminal? I mean, does someone come and give me messages in my sleep? Yes. Subliminal is things that we have picked up over the years, which is more societal, which is more cultural, which is more of a norm in a certain society. Like in this part of the world, historically, the locals in this region were slave traders. All they would do is go to Africa, steal the men, and sometimes women, and sell them to Europe and North America. So today, it is part of the culture to treat anyone who's not part of us as second-class citizens, including sometimes the women. So when a local comes and starts telling you, "Ya tali Hindi," which means "come, little Indian," he doesn't mean to you as an individual, but it's more of a societal norm that I treat anyone who is much lower to me almost on the class of a slave. So these are more subliminal. Society has reinforced this in us. We as Indians and South Africans and Filipinos, we do have our societal norms which makes us discriminate towards people who are not on our social class. We treat the scheduled caste in India with a different disdain than we treat somebody on our own brethren, our own level. And I'm sure the same applies to all different societies. This is what I consider subliminal. And ironically, this is the most difficult to overcome. Why? Because it has been so deeply ingrained in our culture, in our religion, in our habits, that we have to do a radical transformation to overcome this societal, cultural, and maybe religious bias. Now, this is something that each one of us have to reflect. What is it in my society, in my culture, that makes me the way I am? The second is the norm or the known biases that we have. In other words, we are conscious about these, but we do it in one of two ways. It could be a situational bias. Now, what do you mean by situational bias? I'm not an arrogant person. I'm so nice. I'm so lovable. I'm the friendliest person. But wait till the waiter drops soup on your lap. All of a sudden, profanity which your mother told you never to use comes out. Where was it all these years? I was such a nice person. And the moment you bloody... Where does this arrogance comes from us? It's situational. It is something that is out of our control based on that situation. We all have different body tics. Different tics that kind of pushes us beyond the border of being nice to being arrogant. Now, each one of us have different tics. For me, it is my wife waking me up in the morning. Get up, get up. Yo! All of a sudden, very sleepy, very innocent Anil becomes monster Anil. I'm sure each one of you has certain things that tick you off. And these ticks can be controlled over a period of time. Now, I will not tell you which is the right way, which is not the right way, because each one of us understands how to handle such situations. But this is a conscious decision that we have to take. Something that we know pushes us over the boundary, and we have to look into it. The second one is intentional arrogance. Yes, there is something called intentional arrogance. I do not like successful, career-oriented women who are my bosses. Okay, maybe not me, but there are some in this room. So what will I do? I will make it my lifelong ambition to make her life miserable. I have no idea how, but I'll do that. And this is something that we do intentionally. My colleague has got a promotion, and now he's on my equal. I will make sure that I will hide files from him. I will make it so difficult that he goes one level down or I go one level up. This is intentional. This is not situational. This is not cultural. This is something you have told and reinforced in yourself. I want to do it because I have an agenda. And I will go to the greatest extreme to be arrogant to this individual. Ironically, this is a form of arrogance that is the easiest to cure, because you're making a conscious effort to be arrogant. You might sometimes need counseling, but better than that, you might have to just go and hang around with a circle of friends to tell you the right way of handling such situations. Now, my friends, as I'm concluding, I'm not going to be lecturing to you on what you should do and what you should not do, how you should be as sweet as Anil or as arrogant as Anil. But what I'm telling you is to identify, number one, what are subliminal, cultural, societal things that make us arrogant people. Second thing, understand what are the social norms or social things that have ticked us off. And finally, what are the things that we do intentionally? Tone these down, become a better person. And I'm sure we will then become great citizens of this world. Mr. President.